Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet a dear friend. Her name is Dr. Veronica Sites. I've known her for more than a decade. She is on a mission right now to destigmatize post-traumatic stress. Her incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
All right, we live in a crazy world. I mean, let's be honest, there's so much stress going on. We had the pandemic, and then there's an epidemic of stress just with the average household. But imagine a first responder. Imagine somebody coming back from war. It's a really big deal right now. Dr. Veronica Sites is in the studio. She's the founder of Post-Traumatic Stress Development. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Well, let's spend a few minutes talking about veterans and first responders. What are you experiencing?
So first, I'm a chaplain to the culture. I am active duty in the military with the State Guard. So I have high exposure to the events, the incidents, the very same things that they go through, I go through. The difference is I come alongside them after the worst incidents or conflicts, and then we guide them forward.
Yes.
My goal and mission is to do that in such a way that we respect what has taken place. The brain has been trained, and in the culture of military and first responders, it's learned skills, it has practiced by drills, and it has actually conditioned the will to run into conflict and incidents. What is required and where we can improve is we can improve on helping the service member transition from military to the marketplace, because that can be a very bumpy transition.
Yes.
And if we could keep in mind that the brain can be trained and learn skills, what needs to be transferred are the very things that they learned, drill, skill, and will, actually can be transferred to destigmatize the D. No one wants a disorder.
Right.
Hence, we have developed post-traumatic stress development as a program to build resilience from what is known, reframing so that the language that's familiar, it's not all new, it's familiar language, familiar structure, a battle plan, a field guide, all the terminology is the same of what has been utilized for years, converting it into civilian life, into the private sector, so that the brain begins to heal and the disruption that came from incidents ingrained, layered, and become very complex. We have a term in the military called VUCA. Okay. We as a society learned VUCA, about VUCA in during the pandemic. You heard the word uncertainty a lot. Well, VUCA encompasses volatility, that's the V, uncertainty, complexity, and then ambiguity. But we are living in a time fraught with VUCA. So if we can approach things, and when we approach with an understanding of the complexity that has been locked and loaded into responders, there's a physical, emotional, psychological, spiritual, and behavioral tendencies that come out after transition. That can be immediately, it can be years later, but what has not traditionally been given a lot of space for training is how, when it shows up.
Yes.
How do we actually train the brain to do what it's fearfully and wonderfully made to do? It's neuroscience, it's neurolinguistics, it's taking what is there, giving the past its place, which is in the past, not now.
Yes.
Now we transfer those skills. We become transformed in the will by the organ rewiring. That's how it's created to heal. And so we provide resources, training, and cohorts for individuals to live the experience of recovery rather than to dread the diagnosis that has detrimental impact.
Yes. We're going to pull up your website, and as we scroll down the website, let's talk about the different audiences that you work with. I know you're a very popular speaker, so in addition to first responders and the military, what are some other audiences that you like to speak to?
Individuals that are touched by trauma, and that is a very general statement. However, I am a specialist at helping people understand when trauma touches the mind, body, and soul, we can build resilience into an experience in such a way that maybe pain is perceived to have been destructive, and it is. Pain is what it is, but what may have been meant to be destructive then becomes productive in transforming through a process. It's a 5-step process of awareness, becoming alert to what happens in my mind, my body, and my breathing. For example, becoming astute, posturing to learn, the humility and the mindset that I can learn new things with what I have to deal with is possible. Then it goes on to the next day, which is to activate. When we gain new skills, we can now activate what we need to do in the moment. And that interrupts the cycle of going back to the past. And therefore, the 5th day is advocacy. When somebody has experienced that transformation, they become the advocate, and no one can speak to another in the trench better than somebody that's come out of it.
Wow, so beautiful. You're a very popular podcaster and a guest on other people's podcasts. We've got a little video from a show you did not long ago. You have this heart of a teacher, I can tell. You just love to educate, don't you?
I do.
Something that comes to mind as we're talking is we just came off of this horrible flooding in Central Texas. And I think about those first responders because they probably haven't been treated.
And I was behind the scenes on that. And that was a catalyst event that really propelled moving post-traumatic stress development forward. There are things in every culture of a workplace, a business, or a setting that can improve. And one thing that I hold as a conviction is not on my watch, not if I can help it. I will do everything I can to help people mitigate. This can go in a lot of different ways. And being a parent of child loss, that really hit, and it does hit the wider audience, not just the responders. However, responders, not ever is there a time that a responder goes into a situation where a child is involved that it does not hit stronger and longer, because most are parents. And we can do better. We're going to do it now. We're going to do it going forward. And my mission at the core of it is to sustain life. We have got to stop death by suicide. And the way we do that is help people learn how to live.
Dr. Sites, you've written many best-selling books, and one of them came out a couple years ago, Tactical Tenacity.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
That's 21 ways to build resilience. If there is anything I've learned over the 30-plus years of working in the space of response, it's when we realize that pain has a purpose, we can break it down to the fact that many people ask the question, why is there so much suffering in the world? Well, pain in the present does serve a purpose that can propel us to a better future because of resilience. We are doing everything that we can to build a acceptance to the need for resilience. Things become stronger when skills are learned. Children become more secure, have greater confidence, and their self-esteem is more solid when parents will meet them on those hard days and be the support system that not only is needed, but may be needed beyond a comfort zone that an adult might have. And a passion that I have right now is that children today are facing the loss of peers at their own hand long before they ever should. Many parents never had to deal with the topic of death by suicide till later in life. So if you've got a generation where that was the case, and their children and grandchildren have to face things at a very vulnerable and developmental stage, it's important to bridge that gap.
Yes.
And that's a unique skill set I have. Is the way my brain works is I plot, it sees dots, and I either see congruence or I see where the disconnect. And I'm wired to actually build bridges to create the connection so we can have a journey towards health and wellness.
Well, since we're talking about children, go ahead and hold up this book, because this is your latest project, and we actually have a stuffed doll here. So tell us about this.
So I've gotten the question, why a children's book? Well, first of all, let me say it's cathartic. It was very therapeutic to be able to do that and to know that I'm pouring into a generation that's having to deal with things that they should not have to at an early age. But The Quiet Mushroom, I have a co-author, and it's my daughter. So this is a legacy project. Out of the mouth of babes comes wisdom, the power to silence the enemy. And we were sharing a story several years ago, and the encounter came out that I had created a little acrylic mushroom out of boredom at work one day, and took it home and adapted the Quiet Mushroom into the Quiet Game. Well, one of my daughters, who's now an educator, Amy Christine, is the co-author of this book. She began to share details of how she felt the mushroom had a power, and the sensory aspects of it, details about that mushroom that I never paid attention to, but I actually still have the mushroom. So I went back and I checked. I thought, wow, very sensory oriented. And because of the mental health space that I occupy, I recognized that she was describing grounding. She was describing tactile engagement that actually allowed her body to regulate, learn some breathing techniques. So we introduce social emotional learning through the book. It meets TEKS for educators. So we're prepared to come into the classroom and to pour in with activities that gives a teacher a break. She can do her grading at the time.
Yes.
But this mushroom, his name isn't revealed till the book is released on September the 2nd. And the Quiet Mushroom is the first in a series. It will always feature the Quiet Mushroom. When his name is released, he reveals that he's on a mission. And the mission is really to lay a foundation for the child and build a bridge with the parents so that both can journey forward, facing hard things in healthy ways, stewarding the years that fleet. I mean, they just go by too fast for parents and children.
Yes. Okay, remind us of the book event. It's coming up soon.
Yes. So the launch is on September the 2nd. That's the day to buy the book. Okay. That's the day we want to launch him well, and that's what makes or breaks a bestseller. And then we have a live signing event. He's partnered with a squirrel, the Flying Squirrel in Mansfield, on September the 13th for live signing, photos, some of the activities we have available for school will be there. So it's a family-friending coffee house time.
That is so much fun. We're almost out of time. So final thoughts. What do you want to leave the audience with?
When we posture for teachability, the things that we can expand upon really do contribute to a better human, a stronger society, and the ability to really get through things with the community that we're meant to have with one another. And that's really my mission. Is there's no reason not to go from surviving to thriving. There's too much of the world that is in survival mode. We need to learn to thrive.
Wow, what a great way to leave this show. We'll also leave you with her website, which is conflictresolutionspeaker.com. The great Dr. Veronica Sites. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.